This video describes how to work with multiple meetings in a group in the BCG Event Manager. In order to put meetings into a group, you can enter each meeting and give them the same group name. The effect of this is that when you make a change to one meeting in a group, you will be asked whether you want the same change to be performed on all other meetings in the group. This is very different from a multi-room meeting. In a multi-room meeting, if you drag it and change its time, that meeting's time has changed, and the fact that it's in multiple rooms doesn't matter. It'll simply be reflected on the grid. However, in meeting groups, each meeting really is quite separate. That is, it's not as if you have multiple rooms and you're folding wall between them. For grouping, you just want the meetings to stay in sync for some reason. So here's an example. I'm going to take meeting 1183 and I'm going to put it into a group called my pre-lunch meetings. Okay, I'll click add to make a new group name, pre-lunch. And I'm saying make this new group. Now 1183 is in a group, and you can see that the group called pre-lunch is identified in the hint. Now I'm going to go to meeting 1184. These just happen to be at the same time. That is, they happen to be starting at the same time and they happen to be the same length, but it does not have to be the case. You can group any meeting with any other meeting. And I'm going to change the meeting 1184 to be part of the group called pre-lunch. Now you can see that it knows it's in the group pre-lunch and it warns you, hey, there's one more meeting in this group. And it will tell you that meeting 1183 called auto committee is also in this group. So I'll go ahead and save it. And for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to take meeting 1187, and I'm also going to put it in the pre-lunch group. I don't know why I would actually want to do this in the real world, but you can. And it warns me, hey, look, there's two other meetings in this group. And I save it. Now, these orange flags only mean that I've made a change to each of these meetings. All right, so now I'm going to go to 1183, and when I hover it, you can see that in purple, all of the other meetings in the group are lit up for me. You can use this grouping functionality to keep meals together, so that if you have to change one meal's meal time, the entire group of meals has its time changed. Anything where you want a bunch of meetings to stay in sync with each other. So I'm going to take 1183 and I'm going to make a change to it. Let's see, why don't I change it so that the room setup becomes hollow square. Now when I made that change, you'll notice that 1184, which was already hollow square, remained hollow square. 1187, which was already hollow square, remained hollow square. So I was not asked whether I wanted the other meetings in the group to change, because they weren't changing. If I change the start time from 11 o'clock to 10:45, and you can see, of course, that the end time automatically changed to keep the duration of the meeting the same, and I click save, it will say, hey, you just made a change, and you made a change to this 1183 auto committee. And because there was another meeting in the group that started at the exact same time, that is 1184, also had been starting at the exact same time, it says, hey, I think you want to change that one. You might want to change that one's time as well. And that's what this checkbox over here is for. So it's saying, would you like to change the other meetings of this group, the other members of this group as well? And I can check that I do or don't want them changed. So you can see that the start time, right, is now going to be 10:45 for both 1183 Auto Committee and 1184 Finance Get Together. But Quick Preso was not included because it didn't have the same start time as them. So it assumes by default that you don't want to change it. I can if I want to by checking this box. And it will alter the time for me. But in fact, I don't want this member of the group to be changed. So change checked means go ahead and make the changes indicated to each meeting that has been checked. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now you can see that 1183 and 1184, which were in the group, both had their times changed. So this is the way grouping works. Not every single field will cause the other members of a group to change, but almost every field will. Thank you very much for watching this video on how to use the grouping functionality of meetings.